make an example. What up guys, this is Bharat here. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I wanted to discuss to you guys about some common mistakes that every new programmer does, which you should not do in 2020. If you're starting to program in 2019, since it's drawing to a close, and also if you're thinking about learning a programming language in 2020, make sure to not do all these mistakes I'm pointing out in this video. Because come on, if you make these mistakes, it's going to be really, really costly. It's going to take so much time and also take so much of your money. So make sure to avoid all these mistakes and also learn a programming language in 2020. Awesome. Even before we begin, let me give you a simple experiment to do so. Make sure to smash the like button at the start of this video. If you think that towards the end of this video does not make sense to me, you can even take the like out. It's a win-win for both of us. Alright, if you're ready, let me get started with my first number one mistake that you should avoid in 2020. Awesome, so we're back to the drawing board. I have a setup and all done, and so I thought it would be looking super cool and stuff. Anyway, let me get started with the first number one mistake that you will be doing, and I would very much recommend you to not do it. So, if you're a first-time programmer, this is the first time you're going to learn program, you need to understand that this is not like any other subject that you will learn. So, for example, you have a basic understanding of literature or arts in your college. This is not going to be a similar subject that you will be learning. Rather, it's going to be more of a technical thing that you'll be learning. So make sure you start applying things and bow down to the process and understand that this is going to be a long process and not just something short. You cannot go in, learn the theory alone and assume that you'll become a programmer. You need to start practicing it. So you just have to bow down to the process and give it some time to marinate. I see a lot of people asking me, can I learn a programming language in 1 month? Can I learn a programming language in 2 months? You definitely cannot. You need to understand the basics first and start practicing yourself. And that's how you start learning programming. So make sure you don't do this mistake and also understand that it is not humanly possible to learn a programming language completely end to end in just 1 month time. So make sure you don't do that mistake in 2020. The second important mistake that a lot of programmers do when they start out is that they assume that any course that actually is going to teach you anything is going to start with a simple hello world program. So for example, say you learn Java, there's going to be a hello world program for that. So these hello world programs are just going to be showing you guys what exactly are the syntax of a programming language. How do you actually prepare yourself for programming language? And they assume that this is the programming language. They understand that they can just do some 5 or 6 mathematical operations on a programming language and they have learned the entire thing. But the truth is they are not. Hello world programs are not the entire programming languages. There is going to be a huge up curve from there, and so I would very much recommend you guys to just skip these hello world programs. Even if you understand what is happening, don't stop there and don't assume that you can just do some basic things and you learn programming language in some magical way, which is impossible. So you always have to think there are a lot of things away from hello world programs, and you have to make sure that you go forward one by one and start learning everything from there. Any courses is structured in such a way that they start with something simple and they gradually become complex. So for example, assume that you're learning Java or Python, there's going to be a lot of curve as soon as you start learning your basics, right? So make sure that you cross those paths and not just get stuck with hello world programs, because come on, hello world programs are not the entire programming languages. Next thing is to make sure that it takes something simple to start with. For example, let us assume that you want to learn a programming language in 2020. That is going to be your New Year resolution. Make sure to start with something simple, something staple. Say, for example, Java and Python, or say you can even learn PHP, R programming. So anything that is going to be fitting your level of expertise, you can pick that up. But don't go for something that is very new in the market or something that has not yet been researched well and all of those stuff. Because, for example, let's say that you have to learn Python for your project, or you want to learn Python as a programming language in 2020. You have a lot of resources that are actually available that has been built upon over the last 20 years, and there are a ton of happy souls waiting to help you guys. So all you have to do is go to Stack Overflow, type your questions, and you'll get a lot of answers for your questions. So that is going to be the base for any programming languages when you're starting out. So you just understand how things are working, and from there on you can just move forward. So make sure to pick a staple language and not something very new in the market just because it is cool. One more important mistake that I see a lot of programmers make is that whenever they start a programming language, even with some experience in their background, or if they're going to start something new, they assume that they have to learn everything on just one go. So you can't just open a book and start reading everything from start to end and assume that you'll understand everything as well. It's going to be a bit of a process when you start learning the basics first and then start learning the complex ones next, and it's going to be keeping on going forward step by step, and that's how the process should be. You cannot just take a book out and read everything at one go and then cry that you could not learn the programming language completely. That's a big mistake that a lot of people do, which you should not do if you're going to learn in 2020. Alright, so probably the last advice or the last mistake that you guys should not do is to make sure that you follow something good. You follow some programming channel, or you follow some blog article, or you follow somebody who's actually good in that domain first. Say for example, you are going to learn a programming language like Flutter. You can follow me. This channel is actually dedicated to that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. I had to get it out somewhere. Okay, I got it out. Jokes apart, if you're going to start programming in any language, make sure that you follow somebody that you can keep track of. They're also going in the journey. There are a lot of good YouTubers out there who are learning to teach programming languages properly out there. So they have a lot of playlists that you can just go to and start sticking to that. Sticking to their playlist will actually help you guys move forward in a very faster pace. This is what I found out. So make sure that you do all of that and just not get stagnated in one place and assume that you have learned everything. And when you just start watching all of these different videos and all of these different articles that you read out, you understand there is much more different angles to just a programming language, and you learn everything much faster pace rather than how you do it in your college or in your university. One more important question that I want to answer in this video as part of this video was that, do you need a college degree to learn programming? The answer is absolutely no. You do not need a college degree to learn programming. But if you have a college degree, you will understand that it's going to set you guys to a schedule. Even though the schedule is not going to be completely end to end, it's going to set you guys to a schedule, and you just stick to the schedule. And that's what a lot of traditional programmers go through. For example, even a top programmer would have done their basics in computer science engineering. They would have a bachelor's degree, and from there on there would actually be a much better curve for them. That's actually why, because you understand the basics. The basics is going to take so much time, and you just have to bow down to the process. Do not go into scams which actually go and tell you that I'm going to teach you a programming language in 24 hours. I'm going to teach you a programming language in 7 days. It is technically not possible at all. These programming languages just spit out all content they have, and just from starting to the end, and you'll never understand what is happening. You just have to stick to a schedule. Make sure that you have a 6-month schedule right ahead of you, and you stick to that, and you can learn programming language very, very easily. If you want a lot of good resources, I'll just drop them in description. None of them are from my channel. These are channels that I follow. I've been following for a long time. So make sure you check all of them out if you have spare time. And also, if you have liked this video, do not forget to not unlike this video. So I want to make that as well. Let me meet in the next video, something cool and important. Until then, peace out. Have a super awesome day.